Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody out there is having a great Wednesday morning. You're in Cape Town. It's a bit cloudy. We're expecting a bit of rain later. It's getting a bit chillier in the mornings and in the evenings. Extra blanket at night. But yeah, the dams need a bit of topping up. As you know, water is a big issue here in South Africa. And a few years ago, we had quite an issue with water. We were close to day zero. So we don't want to have that scenario again. So hopefully the rain will come later on today. But that's enough about the weather and the weather forecast. Let's get on to things far more interesting. Music. So today we're going to chat about an album which, many years back, well, not that many, but back in the day, I used to work at a record store, a CD store in the waterfront here in Cape Town. Now, the waterfront's, of course, that big tourist attraction, or as I like to call it, a tourist trap. And there was a shop there called CD Warehouse that I worked at for about 10 years. Great store. We had a lot of selection, different genres, classical, rock, jazz, you name it, we carried it. And one of the albums that I was asked for almost on a monthly basis, without fail, was the album we're going to chat about today. And it's a band from Detroit, Michigan, in the States, and they go by the name of Rare Earth. And they released an album called In Concert in 1971. Now, like I said, I got asked for this every single month. And I wasn't aware, I knew of the band, but I'd never really bothered to listen to their stuff. I knew about the one album that we always carried called Ma, which had that really fat lady on the cover, that drawing of that fat lady, which was okay, but I never paid them much attention. So I thought, hang on, why is everybody interested in this album and this particular band? There must be something good about it. And then I listened to it. Wow. Let me tell you something. Apart from all the usual live albums that you all know about, the Rare Earths, the Deep Purples, the Led Zeppelins, the Wishbone Ash, and all the rest of it, the well-known ones, Thin Lizzy's, Live and Dangerous, give this one a listen. Let me just show you the cover. Now, the cover is actually supposed to be a satchel or a carrier bag or something. There we go. Rare Earth in Concert. This album has got so much groove. The vibe is just incredible. I mean, the interaction with the audience from the band as well. Amazing stuff. Really well recorded for the time. It was released in 71. But I think by that stage, some of the recording techniques had improved from the 60s. So you get to hear each, and it's a big band. I'll tell you about the guys in the band in a sec. A big band with a lot of different instruments. But because it's a great recording, you get to hear each instrument doing their thing. Really well recorded. And what's different about this band is it's not often the case. The drummer was the lead vocalist. And I've always found that must be so difficult, because not only do you have to remember your beats and remember what song you're in and the time changes, etc., you've also got to remember the lyrics, because you don't want to mess up there. And this guy, brilliant drummer, great singer, really quite a low voice, but he could also hit the high stuff if he needed to, and backed by an incredible band, great guitarist and the rest. But as I said, I'll get to the band in a second. So yeah, this was an album that I was asked for on numerous occasions, and always struggled to find it for whatever reason. I think it was because we had a problem with a particular supplier that supplied us with that CD, because it was a CD warehouse. We didn't do vinyl then. I think vinyl hadn't had its revival yet. This is around 2001 when that store opened. So yeah, always struggled to get hold of it. Excuse me, I'm having my early morning coffee here. So let's get into the album itself. It's, like I said, tons of groove. I don't know, what would you class Rare Earth as? They could do the rock thing. Really funky band. Bits of R&B, bits of soul, a lot of jazz vibes. But just such a together band. They were more like a jam band, really. If you think about a modern day jam band like Government Mule, these guys were similar in a way. So like that's the front, like I showed you. At the back, you've got the who's in the band and the songs. And this is a local release. I'm not sure if there was anything else to this if you got the import. But this is the local there. It says Rare Earth in Concert. And there we have a shot of the guys backstage and on stage. Like I said, quite a big band. And that's the vocalist. Is that the vocalist? Yes. That's the vocalist over there doing his thing. Some great live shots. Always like these gatefold sleeves. So let's get into who's in the band. So the guy who's doing the lead vocals is a guy by the name of Pete Rivera. Drums, lead vocal, and percussion. Then you had a guy called Gil Bridges, woodwinds, vocal, percussions, and flute. Flute, very popular in the 70s, obviously not just with Jethro Tull, Golden Earring, and a whole bunch of other bands, including these guys. John Persh, bass and vocals. Ray Monette, guitar and vocals. Really nice guitarist. I mean, this isn't shredding stuff, this isn't hard rock, but boy, when he did play a lead solo, he gave it stick. Mark Olson, keyboards and vocals. Really nice keyboard player. And then a guy called Ed Guzman on conga and percussion. Recorded live at Jacksonville, Florida, Civic Coliseum, Miami, Florida, Marine Stadium, Ithaca, New York, Cornell University, and at the Pharmacy. Special thanks to Jerry's blah, 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 in Detroit. And then there's one studio track on here called Nice to Be With You, which was recorded at the Motown Studios, those famous studios. So it's taken from different concerts. But it's not disjointed. It actually works pretty well if you listen to this live concert. So it says here, newly recorded live versions of Rare Earth's greatest hits. So it's pretty much the greatest hits, just in a live format. So side one starts with I Just Want to Celebrate. And that was one of the early hits. And yeah, if this album doesn't get you off your feet and want to boogie, or if you have a party and it's falling a bit flat, stick this album on. I guarantee they'll be on the floor in about 5 seconds. So that's the first track, I Just Want to Celebrate, which got some great drum fills from Mr. Rivera, Pete Rivera, excellent vocalist, tons of groove. That's 4 minutes. Then it's Hey Big Brother. It's a couple of long songs in here, I'll get to that. That's 7 minutes. Then it's Born to Wonder. That's another 4 minutes. So that's your first side of the original vinyl. This has since been released on CD. Like I said, we struggled quite a bit to get hold of it. I'm not sure if it's been given the deluxe treatment yet, but it's probably an album that needs to be. Side 2, Get Ready. Now that was the name of one of the early albums, if not their first. And here there is a mammoth 23 minutes and 38 seconds version of that track. And it rocks. It's just the audience participation is so cool, and their rapport with the audience is amazing. So he really gets the crowd up and running with that one. So that's Get Ready. And then it's side 3, What Did I Say? That's 6 minutes. And then Thoughts. And that, I think, it's also a lot of audience participation, chatting to the audience, that kind of thing. And that's 10 minutes long. And then you get to side 4, I Know I'm Losing You. And then Nice to Be With You, which is the studio track, which I mentioned earlier. And that's about 2 minutes long. Do yourselves a favor. Even if you don't like, the funky stuff, or you think, that's not really for me. This album will really open your eyes and your ears, as it did with me. Like I said, I really didn't know them that much. This blew my mind. And I struggled to get hold of this record. I went to numerous vinyl fairs, always looking for this, and one day I lucked out and I came across this album and I've grabbed it straight away. If I remember correctly, it was actually a fairly good price as well. Like I said, this isn't the import, this is the local. Great sound though. I mean, some of our local pressings back in the day were pretty good. I think it was only later into the 80s when a lot of the recycled vinyl was used. And yeah, I remember those days, for every 5 that I sold, 3 came back with something wrong with them. But that's the way it was, I guess. So yeah, Rare Earth in concert. You can't go wrong with this. It's probably not a lesser known album, maybe an overlooked one as well, like I did in last week's episode. But yeah, definitely want to check out. Great guitar work, great keyboard work, excellent vocalist and percussionist, big band, lovely sound. I suppose you could also compare them to early Chicago. What's that other band that had a lot of funk? Average White Band. That kind of sound. Maybe not as R&B as Average White Band, but yeah, definitely one to check out. Have yourselves a bodacious week and look after yourselves. Take it easy, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.